Hello and welcome to our first winter forecast for the winter of 2022 to 2023. It has been a long time coming. I'm uploading it 6 days before I uploaded my first winter forecast last year, but I just couldn't wait to make this video. I know a lot of you have been asking about it, especially the last few days, and I just decided that now is the time to go ahead and make it. Now, make sure you stick around till the end of the video to reveal what's underneath these question marks when we go over the overall forecast. You can find out what all these colors mean at the end. Also, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment down below, because if you do all three of those things and you name your location, you have to comment your location. So again, subscribe, like, comment your location. It doesn't have to be too specific, obviously, but if you name your state or your region in your state, I will give you a custom forecast, or I'll try to. Last year we got thousands of comments, so obviously I can't do every single one, but I'm going to try to get to as many of those as possible. So be sure to do all those things. Let's just get straight into this forecast. Now, first things first, the precipitation forecast. We have a whole lot going on here, but especially the above average precipitation in the north. This is something that we saw mostly last year as well. We anticipate a lot of the same this year to happen. If you're in the lighter green, that's where we have some confidence that there's a good chance that most areas in there will have above average precipitation. It's not going to be every single county in that green region seeing above average precipitation, but for the most part, we expect a majority of these areas to see above average precipitation in the lighter green, which I'm going to just outline this for you guys. So anywhere up here, at least we expect most of these areas to see above average precipitation. Now, there is the two darker green regions there. We'll start with this one up here in the northwest. And as you can see, we have darker green in this region. And this is where we're especially confident in the above average precipitation. I think this is going to be another year where we see an active storm track through this Pacific Northwest region and even into the northern Rockies. I would not be surprised to see this really persist into this winter as well. We saw a lot of that last winter, and I expect a lot of the same. I also anticipate that we will see this interior northeastern United States region see above average precipitation, as well as the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. So we're even more confident in this region as well. I think there's going to be a pretty active storm track that's heading in through these regions, becoming clippers, and then potentially moving up just like this. So oftentimes what we're going to see is minor snowstorms in this region. This is what you see from these clippers, just very light snowfall, very quick moving systems. It can be heavy snowfall, but it's just going to be so short-lived that these usually bring 1 to 6 inches of snowfall when we see this occur. Obviously, the mountains out here get absolutely slammed, so we could see a lot of snowfall with that storm track over this region. But once these clippers move down like this, they tend to turn up the coast, either over land, or oftentimes we'll also see them move offshore like what I'm showing here. And when that happens, we get much stronger snowstorms for this northeastern region. That's called a Miller B nor'easter. That's what that's called. And oftentimes when that occurs, that can lead towards really, really large snowstorms. And if that doesn't occur, we can see some moderate snowstorms move up inland like this as well. At times, usually when this happens, we get a lot of mixing in a lot of regions, a lot of sloppy ice, sleet going on, a lot of rainfall mixing in with snowfall, really messy snowstorms in these types of scenarios when we see that occur like that. Now, for the below average precipitation here, we're moving our way through the southern United States this time around. Oftentimes, in some winters, we have a southern jet, just like this, and then we also have a northern jet that moves somewhere in the northern United States, and oftentimes they meet up over the eastern United States. But some winters, we don't have this southern jet. And this winter looks like it could be one of those where we primarily have this northern jet, and there's not really a southern jet moving through here. What that's going to lead towards is less precipitation moving along that southern jet, because there isn't one, and that's going to lead towards more dry conditions. The only time these areas are primarily going to see storms is when we get, for instance, for the east, a trough strong enough to bring that jet down here. We could get some storms moving along this region of the jet, which could bring some precipitation. Obviously, over a 3-month season, you are going to see some precipitation. At times, we're going to see a trough probably move through like this. And when that happens, we could get some storminess down here, although it's not as sure of a thing in the west. But obviously, that can happen as well. So there will be some opportunities for precipitation for all of these areas. It's just not looking like that southern jet is going to be active, and when that is, it brings a lot of precipitation. Doesn't look like that this time around, and if that changes, this is obviously early in the game. If that changes by, let's say, October or November, we're going to update that. But for now, this is the look. This is the best information we have at this point. And the same thing goes for this below average precipitation region. The lighter tan areas is where we're a little bit confident, and then the darker green or the darker brown regions there is where we're even more confident. So for the southwest and the southeast. Now let's go ahead and talk about that temperature forecast. As you can see, here it is. We expect, first off, above average temperatures will start in the southwest here. The jet looks to really just move north of you, less stormy, less cloudy. It's going to let the sun come through more. This leads towards above average temperatures. So we can see for the southwest here, we have, first off, the lighter orange area where we're not as confident, but we're fairly confident that there will be above average temperatures. This darker orange region here for the southwest is really where we think there's a really good shot at above average temperatures. Now also, up and down the east coast, I expect above average temperatures. It really doesn't seem like a very cold eastern winter, at least for the east coast. It seems like one of those winters that will probably be pretty neutral. I expect probably one cold month out of the three, and then the other two will be maybe slightly above average temperatures, and that'll bring us to about above average temperatures. Usually you don't have 3 straight warm or 3 straight cold months in a winter, so that's why I'm throwing in there that there will probably be a cold month, or at least like a 20 to 30 day period of cold, even though the winter won't be primarily a cold winter. Now, where I do expect a cold winter is kind of throughout the northwest, the central United States, and then a bit of the interior eastern United States. In these lighter blues, that's where I'm fairly confident we have a good shot at seeing below normal temperatures. So that's from Washington and Oregon all the way down into the south central United States, Texas and Oklahoma, and then back up through the Ohio Valley. These are all the areas where I expect below normal temperatures. Now we have a medium blue in here as well, and this is definitely where I'm feeling a bit more confident that we're going to have those below normal temperatures. And then for the darkest blue region here, this is where I really strongly feel like there will be below normal temperatures throughout this blue region there. That's how I'm feeling at this point for the temperature forecast for the winter of 2022 to 2023 at this point. This is a pretty big shift from my other forecasts in recent years. It's been a while since I've been forecasting for more of a central area of cold, but that seems to be the trend that we're seeing. Honestly, I think it was 2019 when a lot of those fall and winter months we saw a pattern that looked something like this, where there was warmth on both coasts and then cold in the middle. That was a pattern that we were stuck in for quite a while. And I believe that winter of 2019 to 2020 had pretty cold in the central and then warm for both coasts, if I'm not mistaken. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here at the snowfall chance forecast. It's snowfall chance because, if I say above normal snowfall, that's pretty hard to forecast. But above normal snowfall chance indicates that there's just going to be more chances for snowfall than normal, or less snowfall chances than normal. Now, for the south, because of the warmth, not only the warmth that's normal, but above normal temperatures, and the dry conditions with that southern jet not being active, that's going to lead towards pretty much west to east here along the south, seeing below normal snowfall chances. And I'm even in this here in Virginia, so that's disappointing for me as well. There's going to be some people that are happy about this, some people that are disappointed about this. I can't make everybody happy, obviously. But that seems to be pretty clear based on what I'm thinking for temperatures and precipitation. All this is a combination of the temperature forecast and precipitation forecast, and kind of taking that and putting it together and coming up with this. For the lighter blue region, I feel fairly confident that you should have at normal or above normal snowfall chances in these blue regions. And then the darker blue regions is where we have particularly above normal precipitation combined with below normal temperatures for some of these spots. Up here, we don't have the above normal temperature or below normal temperatures, but we definitely have the above normal precipitation up there where those Miller B nor'easters will be possible. Just a couple of those could really lead towards above normal snowfall for these regions. So having that above normal snowfall chance up there seems like a no-brainer to me. Now, let's dive into the overall forecast real quickly. We're going to work our way from west to east. We see warmer for the southwest, warm and dry outside of there in that yellowish region. Cool and stormy for the turquoise region. This looks a lot like last year's winter forecast because this winter for the west looks pretty similar to me. Typical snow for the Rocky Mountains could be above normal though for sure, especially the further north in the Rockies that you go, the more I would be inclined to feel like you could have above normal snowfall. Now, cold and snowy just east of the Rockies, Wyoming, Colorado, portions of Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico. No surprise here, really. This area is a very snowy region, even well into the spring and early on in the fall. This is a pretty snowy region. Now, I think the polar vortex will be possible up here in that pink region. With a very strong northern jet, this seems to be a pretty big possibility to me. It's kind of one of those things where it might just not happen, but it would be kind of like a, it could go either way, but it's going to be one of those years where this is definitely going to be a big possibility. So we will watch for that. Arctic blast to the south of there. Honestly, an Arctic blast isn't quite as intense as a polar vortex. So a lot of times we could see that spread further where it's not quite a polar vortex, but we get a very strong push from that northern jet down south into that purple region. Now, I expect the worst of winter somewhere over the Great Lakes. I think persistent clippers is going to lead towards just very stormy weather, very snowy weather here over the Great Lakes and the very far interior northeastern United States. Now, for the pink region down there, we expect winter battle zone. What does that mean? Well, it means you could see snowfall, rainfall, sleet, freezing rain, all of it. It's just going to be a mess at times. It's going to be very rainy at times, obviously, throughout the winter, but it could be very messy at times as well. Very dry to the south of there where, again, there's not going to be a really active storm track at all. So compared to what's typical, it could be a very, very dry winter up there. Now, for the interior eastern United States, mostly just the Appalachian Mountains there, I expect tons of snow. There is some areas in there that I expect to be more dry, where it'll be a little less snowy. Temperatures will be around neutral. But the further north you go up in that blue region, the more and more snowfall I expect compared to normal. For New England, I expect a big classic New England winter. I really think with the nor'easters, the Miller B nor'easters that come from the Clipper systems, that could really, really be intense at times. Huge snowstorms will be possible for the eastern United States. And I say that because with the northern jet being that active, it could at times pull a storm down far south enough to create this classic type of nor'easter storm. So I think this is going to be a possibility. This isn't me saying that there will be huge snowstorms, but definitely huge snowstorms will be possible with the current pattern that I'm seeing. So look at it as a possibility, not a complete prediction that it will certainly happen, but the chance is certainly there is more of what I'm saying. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this winter forecast. I will have a few more of these up this year. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and leave that comment down below with your location for a more in-depth, personal, custom forecast for your region. I'm going to do as many of those as possible. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.